Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Bill Allen. I'm sitting in for Winston Chester this morning. We have a really great show lined up for you. Special guests in the studios. So I want to go ahead and get on with the weather right now, brought to us by Haney Technical Center. This beautiful weather is going to continue. You got a high today. It's going to be in the low 80s with a low tonight around 69. Winds 10 to 15 from the southeast. Of course, you know that can vary. And we've got a water temperature right now around 71 degrees. So some wonderful conditions for this time of year. We do have 4 tides today, though. The low's at 3:23 a.m. with the high at 10:04 a.m. And then this afternoon, the low at 5:11 with another high at 10:19 tonight. Unfortunately, the highest period for activity is going to be in the middle of the night, but decent activity will run from 4:23 to 5:23 a.m., which you just missed, and 4:27 to 5:27 this afternoon. Should be beautiful for that. And I want to remind you guys that I have an app on my phone now. It's Tides 4 Fishing, the number 4. You go to that app, it will give you all the information and more that you'll ever want to know about what's going on, from humidity to barometric pressure to wave height. I mean, it's just a one-stop shopping to be able to get that information for whatever day it is that you want to fish, and it has been fairly accurate. So I just wanted to remind you of that. Great app. River. Apalachicola at Bluntstown is at 14.7, and with a very slow fall. It's going to be at 13 around Saturday, but you know, it is coming down. Choctawhatchee at Caryville right now is at 5.1, and it's going to be fairly steady through the weekend with not a lot of water moving. Bill and I went the other day, and when the water was a little bit higher, but on the move to Choctawhatchee, and we wound up catching a fair amount of catfish and quite a few shellcracker, and had a really good day just messing around the river out there, which there's more to that story, but I'm going to wait for Bill to be here to share it. So let's go ahead and take this quick break, and then we're going to come back with our special guest.
Eleanor Construction and 850 Roll-Off are locally owned, family-owned businesses with great core values. They care about their customers and their community. Eleanor Construction, commercial, residential, new construction, or remodel, demolition, land clearing, they do it all. 850 Roll-Off offers 20, 30, and 40-yard dumpsters. They are available now. Call today and receive the dumpster as soon as tomorrow. Eleanor Construction and 850 Roll-Off are proud to help in the rebuilding of our community.
When you think about what you love and how you provide for your family, finances always enter your mind, along with the ways you can manage and save. If you are thinking about your financing options, a boat, car, business, vacation, or mortgage, know that Panhandle Educators understands the importance of a friendly, low-rate loan. Let us help you with what you love. Panhandle Educators Federal Credit Union. Together, we build community.
JBT Marine in Panama City is now a certified SeaDeck fabricator. SeaDeck offers a safe and comfortable alternative to your boat's molded-in non-skid. Made in the USA, SeaDeck can be customized to fit your boat's decks, floors, gunnels, and more. JBT Marine's certified SeaDeck fabrication team can template your boat, digitize and cut your SeaDeck mats, and install your SeaDeck kit. Visit deckmyboat.com for more information about SeaDeck or to get an instant SeaDeck estimate. JBT Marine and SeaDeck, one product, endless possibilities.
Bill Kramer needs to buy vehicles outright or take them in on trade. Our pre-owned business is great, and we need your vehicle this week to supplement our pre-owned inventory. Get a 15-minute no-obligation appraisal. We're buying Fords, Chevys, and Cadillacs. We're buying Toyotas, Nissans, BMWs, and more. You name it, we'll buy it. All years, all models. Nothing too old, nothing too new. Bill Kramer is buying them all, and we will not be outbid at Bill Kramer's Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
Hey, welcome back. I'm sitting here with a good friend and great captain, Matt Smith. Matt, thanks for coming in,
Bill,
buddy.
my pleasure.
And, you know, Matt has been on the water a whole lot more than I've been on the water, so bringing in an expert, but there's a couple of real interesting things that we need to talk about and need to is the case, right?
That's right. One thing I do want to mention, if you know people are starting to work back out on the water and get out there, and your first, second trip out, you're focusing on your equipment, make sure everything's running right. Make sure you watch where you're going. Already up to this point in the bay, everything from submerged pilings, pieces of docks, boards, nearly hit an ice machine the other day. Out on a flat. Ice machine blown off somebody's dock.
That might have been Jim Lewis's. His guy.
There's a lot of people lost a lot of stuff off a dock. So just you know, you kind of get in a habit of just going off of memory, and that can get you in trouble. So if you're out getting up shallow on the flats in the bay, just take your time. Be careful. Attention. Have somebody looking, and might just save you some trouble.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, like at a lower unit or something.
That's not a good way to start the year. It can happen real quick.
Yeah, it can.
But it's been good. Spring has sprung.
Yep.
Here we are, and water temperature. You know, we had that mild February, and every time we have a warm February, we know we're going to pay for it in either March or April,
right.
And we got it. We, you know, kind of about the time it would get spring-like, we'd get another cool front, and we just never could break over that hump. That water temperature would get up, approach the mid-60s, and then it'd get knocked back. And so we had all these false starts, and I think we finally hit the point where we're moving forward and starting to see some bait fish, starting to see some activity.
Yeah.
Seems like it's getting better by the day. Bait's still small, but any bait is good bait, and that's just going to get better and better.
And when you bait small, your artificials need to be
That's
what?
right. And you match the hatch, as they say, and you want to fish smaller baits. And you're going to, even when the bait's a little bit bigger later in the year, you're going to get more bites on a smaller bait.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, that's a real good point. We were going to talk about that, and in particular, trout fishing. And something
of particular interest.
Particular interest. Matter of fact, I'm going to go over to Tallahassee today at FWC Commission meeting. Justin and I are going to go over there and just speak and provide some public input. The discussion's gone on long enough. There's been a lot of public discussion, and the speckled trout is on the agenda today. And the commission has decided to look at the species, the limit, and maybe making some adjustments pretty much across the board. It's to the point where when you're out on the water, you pull into the marina and somebody wants to talk to you about trout fishing. I've talked to a lot of people kind of quit trout fishing. It's just gotten to that point where it's not as consistent. The population doesn't seem to be as strong as it once was, and hopefully we'll make some changes, see some changes made that are beneficial, and start to see the numbers come back. And it's a pretty broad topic for discussion as to why, but I think it's everybody is in agreement. We don't have the trout we once had, in numbers or size. Would you agree?
I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. And having, fished here since I was 5 years old or so, you definitely seen it ebb and flow, if you will. But water quality is a big issue.
Huge, and seagrass, and we've had some years of high water, and runoff comes with that, and there's probably a direct correlation between loss of seagrass in some areas and some of the trout. I just think they're the most fragile fish in the bay, and so
certainly
they need some help. And
they're not as hardy as redfish.
They're not.
They're much more susceptible to weather and changes in the water quality, because some of these extreme colds that we've had, you find a lot of them dead.
Yes, you do.
When you have a few years ago when we had all that freshwater intrusion that just kills so much grass, and it just
and a red tide. We've had some severe
red
tide. So I think it's a combination of things. And you know, I look at it, say, over the last 20 years, and wasn't that long ago, I was a kid riding a bicycle around in Lynn Haven and could just ride down to the bay, and you could go out on any grass flat and throw a grub or a topwater, popping cork, anything, and you were going to catch fish. You were going to catch trout. You're going to catch some numbers. Not always big fish, but you just can't do that as easily as you once could. And I think that's a real important thing. Keep interest up for kids fishing, and need to be able to go out there and catch a few fish. Yeah, absolutely. So
the proposed change at this point is, I tell you what, let's take this break, and then we'll come back and we'll get into some of the proposed changes.
Sounds good.
True story. Elderly lady on a fixed income. House is damaged in the hurricane. She's burning through her additional living expense insurance, staying at a hotel for $150 per night. The construction company hasn't even started her house yet. It could take years. We were able to get her set up at her house, on her property, in a new RV for less than $150 per month. When her house is finished, she has an RV. RV Connection Supercenter, home of the lifetime RV warranty.
Williams Gun & Pawn in Lynn Haven is your one-stop shop for all your firearm needs. At Williams Gun & Pawn, they specialize in new and used firearms, ammo, accessories, and they also have a gunsmith on site for gun repair and cleaning. Williams Gun & Pawn. Buy, sell, pawn, and trade. Stop in today and browse their selection of jewelry, electronics, tools, movies, and more. Competitive prices, outstanding customer service. Williams Gun & Pawn. Open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 on Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
Harts Marine now has the new G3 Bay Deluxe Series, powered by fuel-efficient, ultra-quiet Yamaha engines. This package delivers both great styling and superior performance, making it perfect for hunting, fishing, or just spending quality time on the water. With tons of storage and many creature comforts, G3 and Yamaha lets you spend more time doing what you love. Check out the Bay Deluxe and all our amazing G3 boats today, just 2 miles north of the mall. At Harts Marine, we do whatever it takes.
Hi, my name is James Hance. It's my daughters Ashley and Brandy. We would like to invite you to come and see us at Simply Seafood. They've come up with a slogan, come as a guest, but leave as a friend.
All right, welcome back. What's being talked about that you've heard so far?
So the state, you know, you've got 7 commissioners. You got for each region of the state, and some of the other regions, particularly the southern part of the state, have gone to 3 fish.
Yeah,
gone to 3 fish, and they've done away with the fish over 20.
Right.
So you can no longer keep a trout over 20 inches. You know, and I've talked with biologists, I've talked with some people with the state, and you kind of get mixed opinions on what they think the magic formula may be to change the population. Just as a fisherman, I think that fish over 20 is vitally important to the fishery.
Well, you get into, from the conversations I've had, the breeding fish.
Right.
You know. So.
Right. And I think the more of those you have in the water, as we know, if you trout fish any, you know, you catch less and less of those, it seems, and occasionally you do catch a 6 or 7 pound fish. That's a special fish.
Yeah.
That fish can potentially produce tens of thousands of offspring of really good genetics. So I'm a fan. I'd like to see. And I don't keep fish over 20 inches. If
no, we
don't
don't
want to keep a trout. Yeah. And so I think that fish over 20 would be a great start. Now I think our region being as large as it is, you go further east, their trout fishery is still better. There's probably some pushback on wanting to lower the limit from 5 per person to something like 3. Maybe there's an option to kind of meet in the middle. Yeah. But
yeah.
It's one of those situations, I think, where most everyone can agree that the population isn't improving on its own. So some change is needed. Let's start looking at it and see if we can find something that works and starts to improve it.
And going back to what you said, I find it interesting too. You know, South Florida, their water quality is obviously not very good.
No, it's not.
And I don't want us to be mentioned in that same conversation, but it's getting to be true. And you're talking about the people who have the trout.
Right.
It's a different water quality situation.
And one other major component, population, which equates to fishing pressure.
Sure.
South Florida, you got a lot of people, you got a lot of fishing pressure. You come this way, we're certainly growing. And we've got an increase in population, an increase in fishing pressure. And again, the only way you will never have any more water and we'll never have any more fish. So the only way to mitigate a decline in your fishery is to lower your harvest, lower what you take. So I think most everyone can agree to that. And one fish that most everyone feels has made a rebound, and there were some changes recently, is a redfish.
Absolutely.
Redfish are stable, and population looks good, and as we all know, that's a very valuable fish to have in the water.
In the water. And it's both experienced not being able to find a redfish here to being able to go out and fairly consistently catch redfish in any number of ways, and it's no secret I haven't kept a redfish in I don't know how many years, and they all go back just because of that.
Sure.
That fact.
Sure.
So I've always said they're more valuable in the water.
That's what we decided to do as a group of guides for the most part. We've done catch and release on redfish for probably going on 5 years now, and one key thing is we never want that to be perceived as, hey, we look down on the guy that goes out and takes a sun fishing and they catch a 25-inch redfish and won't take it home and put it on the grill. That's okay.
Yeah.
We advocate catch and release. We want to preserve the fishery, but we knew as a group of guides that was thousands and thousands and thousands of fish that would go back in the water.
Here's the difference, right? Here's the difference from guys who fish very regularly,
right,
or daily,
right,
with the occasional guy that goes out and catches one on the weekend with his son or something like that. I mean, that's all fine, but when you start catching big numbers of fish on a regular basis, you make a big impact in it. And to do what you guys did is tremendous, and hadn't hurt your business at all.
It hasn't hurt our business at all, and people understand it. They get it. And also, your tournament fishermen, they realize, if your better tournament fishermen may catch 30 or 40 redfish in a day, and they're going to cull through them, and they handle those fish with care.
That's true.
The 2 fish they bring back to the scales, that's why the dead fish penalty's there, as it should be.
And it's severe?
It's severe, and so you can't really take a dead fish penalty and be competitive. So put the fish back, release them, let them go, and you get to catch them another day. So,
and it's we've discussed it before, but it's it also is how you handle these redfish.
That's right.
That's right. Beating those things around, keeping them out of the water too long, and not particularly fond of a lot of these grippers.
Sure.
But I've also had enough hooks in my hand. It has some benefit to it. But you have to revive these redfish before you put them back in the water. I mean, some of them, the smaller fish are, they're quickly back. But I'm not going to just throw any of them back until I get them in the water, handle them correctly, support them till they start to swim on their own. And especially these big fish.
That's right.
Because they will give you everything they've got.
That's it.
And they're exhausted when you get a big redfish to the boat. And it may take several minutes, but that's several minutes that you need to spend and do correctly.
Absolutely. And we have time to talk a little bit about tackle, or should we?
I think we'll save that for the last segment because we tend to get a little long-winded. So, and it's me not watching the clock exactly the way that I should, but going back, we stopped keeping the bigger redfish just because they're the breed. I mean, trout, and I do enjoy eating trout. I like them as good as anybody, and they taste just as good at 17 or 18 inches, if not better than 25 inches. To fish that's been around a while. So you know, it's all about protecting what we have for additional generations. And, you know, things like this show and outdoor education and other people are the reason there's a lot more people fishing, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
The more people fishing, the better. It supports everything through your license purchases, but, you know, be conscious, do it in the right vein, you know. Do it with a little bit of environmental issues at your forethought. So we're going to go ahead and take this break and come back. We're going to talk about how to catch them.
Hey, Gulf County neighbors, need a roof? Ice Roofing, a division of Inland Construction and Engineering, is here to help. In fact, we've helped hundreds of home and business owners with their roofing needs. Call 872-2129. That's 872-2129, and we will call you back. Ice Roofing, keeping it local by helping our neighbors. That's 872-2129. Ice Roofing.
Hey everybody, it's Brad Stevens coming from Dreamers Watersports. If you're looking for a fun and exciting way to get out on the water with the entire family, check out the Hobie Eclipse boards. We got them in stock, all sizes, all colors, ready for a free demo and immediate delivery. Swing by Dreamers Watersports today to try the Hobie Eclipse stand-up paddleboard. Dreamers Watersports is located at 1129 Beck Avenue in beautiful, historic St. Andrews.
Harold Milling Company, rough and tough dog food. Harold Milling Company builds it. They build hog feed, they build dairy feed, they make chicken feed. They have specialty feeds for rabbits. If you got a worm farm, grandmother used to have a worm farm, look at the Harold Milling Company. You want to go down and get you, the dog's not running anymore. That's all over with. You want to get that 16% and drop down from the 26% protein. You don't want over to get fat. Harold Milling Company, you can buy it almost any feed store in the Panama City area.
GAC Contractors is the leading provider of road, site, and building construction in Northwest Florida. At GAC Contractors, we work closely with the owner, engineer, and architect to provide quality work that's completed in a timely and cost-efficient manner. Our gold standard level of quality is translated to projects of every size, from multi-million-dollar design-build projects to building remodeling projects and residential subdivisions. Since 1958, GAC Contractors has turned a commitment to customer satisfaction into countless successful projects.
All right, welcome back. So we've talked about all the reasons you ought to put some of these fish back, but now let's talk about how you get to that point. How about that?
That's right. Good problem to have is to have enough fish to release and maybe keep a few for dinner and leave some for the next guy on the next day. You know, when the water's cooler, you know, most people think of trout fishing as much or more in the winter as they do in the summer,
yes,
which is true to an extent, but you know, do some live bait during the winter months when it's cooler, and live shrimp are an excellent option. Your bait fish are few and far between, and live shrimp is a really good staple. The issue with a live shrimp is once your water temperature reaches a certain point, and we're there into the upper 60s, and you hit that 70-degree mark, pinfish, chofers,
everything
eat you up.
Yeah.
They just
everything eats
you can't keep a shrimp in the water. So so now your bait fish are present, but they're small. Your fish are feeding on them, but they're small. So the artificials are really key.
Yeah.
You can really be most effective with an artificial. I always talk about covering water. I like a top water early, especially if we have a foggy morning. Trout particularly like a foggy morning. I don't know why. They just feel a little more secure.
Secure, I guarantee
I think that's what it is. Anything that walks the dog, little spook, skitter walk, any small, smaller top water, as you mentioned, one of your favorite, just a suspended twitch bait. And you notice the size of that. The size of that is exactly, if you get in around some of these bios and things and you start looking at the bait, the LYs, the menhaden, they're about that size, about 2 inches long. Or small swim bait. Nice thing about a small swim bait, these come pre-packaged, and you buy them 3 or 4 at a time in a pack. You don't have to rig them; they're ready to go. Tie that on. Taking a kid fishing, you can't go wrong.
No, it's perfect.
Throw it, slowly swim it anywhere from a foot to 3 to 4 feet of water. You do it long enough, you're gonna catch fish.
Yeah.
As always, look for
hook rides up on that too.
The hook rides up on it.
You know, and one of the biggest redfish I ever caught was on one of those in shallow water.
It's a great, and it's durable. It's a great durable bait. So your little swim baits, and it's the same thing, just a small 3-inch soft plastic brand of your choice. This happens to be a DOA. They make good products. Put that on anywhere from a 1/16 to a 1/4 ounce jig head, depending on the wind and the depth of water you're fishing. And the main thing is just get out there and cover some water. And it's not uncommon on a lot of trips on my skiff where we'll fish sometimes in the morning. It's like you get right where the activity is, and you'll have a good hour or two of action throwing these moving baits. And then sometimes you have to fish through what seems to be the best part of the morning, and it may be the tide. It could be the wind, it could be a little ripple on the water, or you might just get in an area where there's more activity than the other.
Right.
But the key is covering water. So I know a lot of people like to get out and drift or fish with a trolling motor. Just get out on the flats and cover water. And going back to the trout situation, it seems like you have to cover more water than ever to get around a few fish.
And you know, like Greg and I, one of the things that we love to do is get the wind situation right, tide situation right, get your boat in position where you have a drift.
That's right.
Where you can stay off that trolling motor. Yep. You cannot chase fish again. But you know, you get a good drift where you work through an area, keeping an eye on the bottom machine, fishing the depth that you want to fish, and then, you know, moving over, continuing or whatever. The less noise you can make and the longer cast you can make.
That's right.
And you know, when you do find some fish, you know, get the power pole down.
Put the power pole down, slow down, and fish a little bit.
And fish it. And covering water is when Matt says that he means more than just, you know, a 1/4 mile or a 1/2 mile of water. Is really fish the water that you're in.
That's right.
You know, take your time, fish it, change things up a little bit.
Nice thing about trout is they're generally in numbers. You know, they kind of school by size. So even if you're into smaller trout and you're starting to get a few bites, just pay close attention to where you're getting the bites. So if you're in 2 feet of water, or you're in 4 feet of water, or what's going on there, and then try to kind of be more cognizant of that as you fish. You're only going to, you know, up your odds of catching more fish. But you know, the main thing is just get out and start looking at the bottom. You want to find somewhere where you've got some grass. If you've got enough tide in the morning, the fish are going to be closer up near the shore. They're going to be up in some of the flooded grass. If your tide's out, you're going to want to stay out off the flat a little bit and just move along. And a lot of times there's no rhyme or reason, and that to me is what makes it enjoyable. You know, it's not like fishing a particular spot. You just get out, enjoy the morning, enjoy your company and the surroundings, and
if you went out
fish along.
And everywhere you went, you slayed them the first time. It'd get to be where it's just not any fun anymore, at least for me, you know. Part of it is, and I say it over and over again, pay attention. That's what you're talking about.
Pay attention.
What are they hitting? What does the bait look like? What depth are they in? You know, and just pay attention and keep that for later. So, Matt, I have really enjoyed it.
Always do.
Good luck in Tallahassee. Give me a call and let me know what's going on. I'm not going to be able to make that, but and you and Justin are going,
We're
right?
going to make the road trip over.
And how do we get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me. Easiest way is probably just give me a call, 850-527-2336. You can look us up at PanamaCityInshore.com.
That's a great group of guys that know how to fish, and they any way you want to fish, they can accommodate it. So, Matt, thank you.
Bill, thank you.
All right, have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.